And if you look at the emergence of social media, mobile technology, and in particular, location-based search, and how that has evolved over the last few years, and particularly the last few months, you will notice, and I think any one of you who is actually using any of those streams yourself will realize that things are just moving so fast. And it's moving at such an incredible pace that it's completely revolutionizing the way that we do things and revolutionizing the way that us as recruiters or even job boards go out and find talent, as well as the way in which job seekers actually go about looking for jobs, whether they're actively looking or actually find something through a more passive stream. It has completely changed the way we do things. Anyone in the recruitment industry will be able to tell you that social media is becoming part of the norm. It's becoming part of almost every company's recruitment strategy. If you look at sites such as Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, companies are using them whether as a page or actively using it to search. They're using it in one way or another to find talent. And if you look at the United States, recent stats show that about 89% of companies in the States are currently using social media quite aggressively in their recruitment strategies. Now, in South Africa, that number is obviously quite a lot lower. The percentage is nowhere near that. But we've definitely seen a trend and an increase in the amount of people that are actually using social media to find talent. At the end of last year, Jobs.co.za did a survey. And what we found was that the increase from the year before, we do it every year, sort of around November, surveying companies on how they actually go about their recruitment process and finding candidates. And what we found was that there was a 32% increase from the year before in companies that are using social media to find talent. Of that, the most popular is LinkedIn, and the same will apply for the US companies. The most popular platform that companies are using is definitely LinkedIn. Job seekers are also starting to rely more and more on social media and also on referrals from their friends, and obviously we know that social media is an ideal platform for referrals to take place. So more and more job seekers are going to social media to hear from their friends or to seek help from their friends when they're looking for a job. And more companies are targeting candidates that are not actively in the market but that are passively on the radar, and they're actually reaching those candidates in their social space, on their mobile devices, and through clever location-based search targeting. So things have definitely evolved. With the introduction of mobile platforms, us as job portals and you as recruiters and companies have an ideal opportunity to get your services out there to those candidates who are constantly on the go, or to those who don't even have internet access at all. The mobile device provides such a cost-effective, convenient means to actually access relevant content as a job seeker that for us to ignore it and not to take a look at the significance of that would be seriously detrimental to our future as a company as well. The number of people using mobile devices obviously by far exceeds people who are using internet via the desktop. If any of you followed recent stats out in the marketplace, you'll know that there are more mobile devices in Africa than there is access to clean drinking water. That is quite phenomenal. For many people, for around 4 million people in South Africa specifically, the mobile devices, their only connection between their real world and the online world. And with social media platforms, Google, practically every technology leader today adjusting their strategies to include mobile, it's important that we do the same as companies. I don't know if you know that 65% of Google searches in South Africa actually takes place from a mobile device over a weekend. So there's a lot of search traffic taking place via a mobile device. Sorry. Okay, the way in which search has changed as well recently, I think it has a huge impact on how we as recruiters look for staff. It also has a huge impact on how job seekers behave when they're looking for jobs on the internet. Local search is considered to be the fastest growing user behavior on the internet at the moment. People are now starting to include city names, town names, and specific locations in their searches. In March 2010, studies showed that about 20% of people were doing a search with local intent, with a sort of a location, geo-specific targeted search. Recent statistics show that almost close to 1 in 3 searches are done with local intent, and about 5% of that specifically put in very, very specific town names. So search engines, obviously Google, you will notice Google Maps has evolved, and it's delivering a lot on local content. As a job portal, we're at jobs.co.za have had to evolve as well, and we also need to consider that people like to look for jobs within location-based. And I think the way we develop our strategies as recruiters as well as the job portal ourselves is really, really important to consider the significance of social search. These statistics reiterate what we've known for a while, and that is that if 20 to 40% of the market are using location search and we're not targeting them, we're potentially missing out on 20 to 40% of our target audience. So it's really, really important that we adapt our strategies to do that, not only as a job portal. This is relevant to every one of us here. If you have a website, your recruitment business, I'm sure all of you do have a website in one way or another, it is important that you consider the significance of taking your content to your target audience through location search. Technology has really enabled us as recruiters to be able to measure return on investment every step of the way throughout the recruitment process, and we should be able to demand it. No matter what medium you use, you should demand return on investment. You should know which medium is bringing you the best return on your media advertising, and you should know what works for you. Whether you're using a job portal, a recruitment management system, an application tracking system, or your own careers website, it really doesn't matter. No matter what platform you use, you really need to consider how technology is changing and how you're going to adapt with that, and how at the end of the day you can measure that to see that you're doing the right things. And I think it's really important that, as I mentioned earlier on, that we as a job portal ourselves recognize that, and that's why we've decided to host an event such as this.